What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Generation Zero. My name is Tenebris Infinite, and just before we get into this video about radical locations to ride your bike, I just thought it would be good to give you guys a little bit of a channel update here. So I had talked before about how I am in the process of moving and getting into a better situation for me to record and take on this whole YouTube thing, because as of right now I just record out of my living room. So I have great news. I'm going to be moving on the 22nd of this month, which means just a couple more weeks of a little bit of awkwardness in my upload schedule here. But then after that, everything's going to be taking a huge swing, and I'm going to be putting out lots and lots of content. I'm planning on expanding my content from just Generation Zero to a couple other games that have really piqued my interest coming up. But along the way, I'm going to be covering Generation Zero completely. My kind of goal is to just kind of pick up other games while I'm covering Generation Zero, just so that I can keep things a little bit fresh for myself. But to keep Generation Zero as the mainstay on my channel for as long as this game is supported by the developers. So we'll just see how long Generation Zero can stick around, I guess, realistically. My hope is to see this game be here for at least another couple years. But yeah, so just all around good news for me. If any of you guys haven't seen my little trailer that I put together for the upcoming games, you might want to check that out on my channel. But for now, let's get into this video. So, in Generation Zero, with the latest edition of the bicycles, I thought it would be kind of fun to go around and find some locations in this game that are prime bike riding locations, so that you guys can either challenge yourselves into doing a little bit of a timed course, or challenge your friends in a multiplayer game and maybe make some bets on it. So, I've got 3 locations for you guys today, one being an off-road location, the second one being some sort of an urban location, and the third one being some sort of an industrial location. So let's just jump right into the video here with the first location. Alright, so for the first location here, we're going to be talking about an off-road location. And this one's kind of fun because it's pretty much a cliffside ride the whole time. So the location that we're coming to first here is the Orsnaben lookout point here on the archipelago. It's just before you get into the southern coast, just after you cross this big bridge here. So this location is really, really cool because it's pretty much a cliffside ride the whole way down, which makes it pretty treacherous, but also because of the steep incline, you can get up to some pretty wild speeds going downhill, and if you do this in a multiplayer session, it is pretty radical. So let's just kind of bike down the route, and then I'll talk about the route afterwards. So a bit of a surprise ending there with the hunters. But as you guys saw, that bike route is a lot of fun to take. So you can maintain 41 kilometers an hour pretty easily as long as you don't fall off the track or fall off the trail in any sort of way. And again, if you're going 41 kilometers an hour and you hit one of those turns wrong, you're going to be going off that cliff edge. So it's really, really fun. And then with that dip at the end as you come up the hill here, it makes it any man's game at the end, because say if you are in first place, if you're having a bit of a race, a bit of a short race with your friends here, you might hit that hill, lose all your momentum, and your other buddy might wind up hitting that hill much quicker than you and much better than you, and wind up taking first. So yeah, this area is a lot of fun as like a quick little sprint style race, and again as like a little bit of a time trial for yourself if you're playing in solo. So for our next location, I thought it would be fun to have a kind of coastal bike ride mixed in with the whole urban city kind of idea. So I thought it would be fun to bike through Tangikill and then down through Fiskback. So it's a pretty simple little route, but you can get really, really fast on it. And also it's probably one of my favorite little spots to go for a bike ride in this game. So let's just bike through the route really quickly and then talk about it afterwards. So as you guys saw there, that was a really scenic bike route. And on top of that, you get to go really, really quickly down some of those hills. You can hit 42 kilometers an hour really, really easily. And sometimes you can even get up to 43 and 44 kilometers an hour if you're hitting your turns right and if you're using your handbrake and everything like that. So the bike route down through Tangikill and down through Fiskback, I'll just kind of show it again really quickly here. You start right here, right at the top of the hill, and then you come down through Tangikill, through this little ravine right here, and then down into Fiskback, ending off your route at the next cycle station. So, yeah, one of my favorite urban routes to take here in Generation Zero. So for the last bike ride location, we're going to an industrial location here. And it was actually kind of hard figuring out which one of the industrial locations was the best location for bike rides. But I think that I found probably the best setting here, because this area works kind of more like an obstacle course than a straightforward sprint race like the last two locations that I've shown you. So we're just getting to the location here. I'm just going to get to the starting line and then we'll kind of talk about the route I take. Alright, and so for our final location here, I picked the industrial facility Yorkvarns Sagvark, and this place is a really cool, fun little challenge because it works kind of more like an obstacle course than a straight up sprint like what the last two races were. So let's just kind of bike through this route here, and I'll kind of point out some of the things afterwards that make this route a lot of fun. So there we go. A little bit of a challenging course, but once you get a little bit of practice into it, it's really fun to run through this place really quickly. So the course that I like to take, as you guys saw there, just kind of goes through a lot of these barriers and in between these wood piles here, and then goes out and around that large wood pile along the pier, which again is a bit dangerous to take at full tilt, but if you get good at it, it's fun to do. And coming down through here, this little area here is a crazy obstacle course because if you bump into any of that stuff, you're gonna get thrown right off your bike. And then coming down in between these two buildings here is again just a little bit tight. And I just think that this area would be a lot of fun if you were to get like 4 of your buddies or 3 of your buddies together into a good multiplayer session in order to kind of race through here. So again, cutting in between these buildings and avoiding a lot of these obstacles here. And then to finish it off, I thought it would be fun to cut through these warehouses because again, it's really tricky to go through them smoothly and accurately because if you happen to bump into like any of these boxes or one of these pillars or anything like that, you're just gonna get sent flying. So yeah, all in all, I really think that this area is the best industrial location to have a little bit of a bike ride challenge. Alright, so there you guys go. There's my top 3 locations to go for a bike ride here in Generation Zero. Again, you know, just a little bit of a slowdown in my content until I get finished up with this move. But that is all going to be happening within the next couple weeks. So thank you so much for your guys' patience with the little bit of a slow upload routine from me. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then,